are live. We are live. Nothing, absolutely nothing was going to stop me from going live. If you can hear me, let me get a sound check first. I'm going to type this in on the chat room to make sure everything is going through smooth so that we can move forward. I do admit we had a full day today, took a lot of video, and I still have old videos to put up. Mrs. Scurv getting her plans, and just us walking out in the street, a lot of good stuff. And I'll work on that early tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mixed Genre Faves. You're always so helpful, and that's why I love you so much. Giant Gain, I love you too. I love all of you. You know what I mean? I love all of you in a very special way, not just saying it. You know what I mean? Because we all have different vibrations and special vibrations, and it's just, it is what it is. And for so many miles to be between us, to feel as though you're so close to my heart, it really means a lot to me. You know, thank you so much. As you know, we did a little treat earlier, you know. Charlie Ogun Lowry, how are you? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Yes, the little treat with Mrs. Scurv earlier. The last minute, she says, you know what? I want to go. First, she wanted to record something. And I said, you know what? Nah, let's go live. And we made the live go on her channel, as well as all across the other channels that we have on social media, 2 Facebook pages, 2 YouTube pages, a Twitch, a Twitter. We didn't do it on Rumble because it would have took a little extra time to do it. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'll upload it to Rumble. You know, that's an extra step in everything. And there's a couple more fancy things I want to get into, but it just seems like I don't have enough time. I'm so enthused. And I say, man, you know, it's so lucky when like these guys, they have like 10 people working on things, whatever have you. But I have my crew here, and the things that you do for me to share and spread help the platform out so much, because Mrs. Scurv has her babies up there, the plans, but this is my baby too, right? King Simon presents Only Quality People. Wow. Welcome on in. Yes. Oyala, William Thrash. Okay. Thank you so much. Wow. Nobody ever called me the Honorable LanceScurv. So it's a first. William Thrash. That's a strong name, like a boxer. My name is William Thrash. You know, now I'm not making fun. I'm just saying that that's something larger than life. Like we had a what was his name? Was it lieutenant or captain when I worked in corrections? I think it was lieutenant. Yeah, Lieutenant Shank. He was like a 7 foot tall, like 6'9" or something like that. Tall white man who we knew, and people confirmed it that he was in the Klan, but he would do his job, but he didn't crack a smile at anybody black. And when he came down the long aisle and folks were in the control room sleeping, and say, oh, Shank is here, because he wouldn't say anything if he caught you sleep, but there'll be people calling to the office for the next few days, and the next day they'll tell you to stay home and take a rest, right? I like that name. It's almost something that, like, with back in the days with Shaft, who is the man who would risk his neck for his brother, man? Thrash. Can you dig it? So that's a cool name like that. You know what I mean? Puts fear in the oppressors' hearts. So let's get started. As always, this is going to be a freestyle. This is something that struck me, not at the last minute, but it's just a different, how can I put it? A different take, a different angle on things that I think. I have no limitation on things to talk about. I have a lot of time to think. I spend a lot of time to myself. And even when me and Mr. Scurv are together, sometime if I'm up on the property, where we'll be next to each other and still be quiet because we're in our own thoughts and meditation. And we'll talk every now and then. It's not like, you know, for the next 5 hours, we can't talk. No, it's not like that. But you have to be able to be, you know, when you're in a relationship or a marriage or whatever, you have to be able to go in different gears. You know, I remember back in Orlando in the house, because, you know, we're in an apartment now until the house is finished. But, you know, we would be in the house and it might be 6 or 7 hours before I bother her, or she bothers me. Well, she is never bothering me. But, you know, she might be in a room reading a book, or every now and then putting on an outfit. I call it the girly phase, because, you know, sometimes as a young lady, single digit ages, young teens coming up, many times because of the upbringing and maybe some negative things that have happened in the upbringing or a disconnect, a lot of grown women didn't have what I call the girly phase. And I say girly not to put it down and make it seem like something bad, but you put on an outfit you know, and say, oh, girl, you look so nice. Oh, you're a supermodel. Oh, man, you look so sweet. They need that. And I know she needed that because she's been through a lot at a young age. So for me to do that for her, and then she's smiling and everything, and every woman needs that to a certain degree. Some women had it more when they were younger, but it's not a narcissistic thing on their part, but it's just something that they need, not the fake thing either, but really appreciating, you know, looking at your shoes, your dress. You know, you might be at the department store, you know, trying it on, and you may not take it home, but it's like, wow, that really looks nice on you. And say something to them that really resonates, not a lie. You're not gassing them up. Because Mrs. Scurv trusts me a whole lot on a fashion tip, because she'll put on an outfit and she says, how does this look? And I say, you know what? You need to switch those heels to the other ones that you have because it'll be a better fit. Not putting it down, but I'm not going to think it, not say anything. And she trusts me, and it always works. I have a little fashion ability and an eye for certain things also. When you're a creative person, it's not hard for your creative spirit to spill over in the other categories of your life. Okay, so it's like that TV dinner where you have mashed potatoes, a piece of chicken, and string beans. Well, you might see a string bean or two inside the potatoes because it's spilled over. So it's not, you know, it's food, but it has its compartments, but it mixes up in your stomach anyway. So with creativity, it can move beyond. But to be on the same page, I'm going to play something on Twitter. Let me get this thing straight over here because sometimes I kind of mess up. Let me just remove this banner, and we're going to play a little quick clip, and I'm going to read something on mental illness. We're going to play this real quick, and it's just a few seconds long, 25 seconds, but listen to this.
And I'm going to put y'all on a little game because I don't know, you know, what going on over there in y'all world. But when it comes to me, I don't have to trick a nigga. I don't have to buy no extracurricular to get them in nor keep one. I exude an aura and a confidence that attracts niggas. And once they get over here and catch the vibe, they love it and they never want to leave. And I'm going to put y'all on a little game because I don't know, you know, what going on over there in y'all world. But when it comes to me, I don't have to trick a nigga. I don't have to buy a nigga. I don't have to do no extracurricular to get them in nor keep one. I exude an aura and a confidence that attracts niggas. And once they get over here and catch the vibe, they love it and they never want to leave.
One more time.
And I'm going to put y'all on a little game because I don't know, you know, what going on over there in y'all world. But when it comes to me, I don't have to trick a nigga. I don't have to buy a nigga. I don't have to do no extracurricular to get them in nor keep one. I exude an aura and a confidence that attracts niggas. And once they get over here and catch the vibe, they love it and they never want to leave.
Attracts niggas. Okay. We'll get into that one in a second. Let me put this banner back on. Let's I mean, there's him on the front, but that's just so ridiculous. And I chose him as the centerpiece, not to speak about him, but as a segue into this particular topic. Okay, because it's not just homosexual black men in Hollywood. It's those who are attention seekers, attention whores. It could be the women who are over-sexualized and don't have much of a talent and do have much talent. Hollywood, not just the Los Angeles Hollywood, but all over the world with entertainment. And how so many of us want to get into the entertainment field because we have some issues mentally. Not all, but some. And lots of times, even acting on a positive note can be therapeutic to a person because of the past trauma that they've gone through. So I'm not going to knock it. I'm going to knock Hollywood for festering up these people who are obviously mentally sick, mentally ill, putting them out there to the world for their agenda and leaving us worse off than we already are. It's not about slavery, but when you look at it, our trauma has never stopped. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. It was like you being able to be the best swimmer in the whole world, but I kept you underwater with your nose below the surface of the water, only 1 inch. I don't care how good of a swimmer you are. If you don't get that oxygen, you're going to die. You can drown in shallow water. And so the things we've gone through, even though there are other people who don't look like us, who tell us, get over it, leave it alone, whatever, it has never stopped. It is something that, like Sister Gabrielle Dawson said, I'm going to put it up. Mental illness is highly celebrated and promoted, and you're so right. Mixed genre, you said the same thing. Mental illness is hard to detect, you know? Holistic Trainer by JJ Max said the mental people run from algorithms. Wow. So you already know. I'm preaching to the choir. I just want to get this off my chest. I know you all are very intelligent. And like I said, I'm going to admit that the majority of you are probably more intelligent than I. Yes, Mrs. Mellon, welcome on home. Homosexuality was taken out of the books as a mental health diagnosis. I believe that happened in 1973. We had a lot of closeted Republicans back in the day who helped to make that happen because they were doing a lot of things back then in Washington, from what I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Master Glam. Oh, I didn't even acknowledge everybody in the chat room. I started this whole thing going on. Let me just go ahead and go up and start from the beginning. I got a few of them already. I'm going to start from the top. Then I will not watch the chat room for a little while I get into my zone. Not to ignore you, but I kind of want to talk when I see you in there, and I just want to flow for a little while. I promise to put a good hour in because y'all know I'm a little fatigued. We did the show at Mrs. Scurv, and I was out and about, woke up late. It rained again crazy this morning, so, you know, it was an off day. She was supposed to go to the property. She's going tomorrow. I got to get up and help with some things to the van, and catch up on the sleep and start working on some more things. And maybe later on in the afternoon, I'll go up with her if I can get those things done. But we'll start all over again. Mix genre faves, Giant Gain, Charlie Ogun Lowry, King Simon Presents Only Quality People, Oyala's Cadence, William Thrash, J Love the Queen. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yes. Landon, Brother Landon Price. Yes. Okay, let me scroll down because there's some names I already got already. Lacrosse's Lounge. I like that. Sounds like a really classy lounge, right? Mrs. Melanin. Yes. Oh, wow. I have seen this mental health patient on the internet before, but I scroll right on past this mental health case. Yes, because they're pushing that on us, right? Capuchon, I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Welcome home. I think I already said Mrs. Melanin. But one thing about him that I can be appreciative of what is the fact that he's not playing on the down low, because these men are down low, right evil as hell at heart. Exactly. I will agree on that. It's all kind of, you know, it's like getting that stale bread from church on a Sunday where it's going to be stale in 3 days, but then 2 days before it, you start to eat it. But there's some parts that's green. Well, you know what? The green parts are the down low brothers, and the other parts that you can take a bite of are the gay dudes, but it's all starting to get stale. TZ. Bet you he loves Jesus. With Jesus, there is no accountability. Come one, come all. Mental illness is welcome. And that's why mental illness is so prominent in the Black church. Yes, I said it. You know, we did that show on it before. I'm getting to this day cuss out text messages and emails, which shows me that, like, hey, if the shoe fits, hey, don't be mad if it, you know, wear it then, you know. Kofi Brown, I despise Saucy Santana. It's what they represent. You know what I mean? It's what he represents. It turned out, you're right, mixed genre. Suki. Yes, Gabriella Dawson. Who else is here new now? We've been Jack We Blue. Yes, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, humanity needs to just die off totally, and we're all better off launching nukes at each other to put an end to all this fuckery. At least that's true. I don't want to get hit with a nuke, but maybe if we come and get to another transitional life, it's okay. Easy to hide mental unhealthiness in Hollywood because, yeah, Robin Williams. It's always that way. Yes, thank you, mixed genre. We're on Rumble right now live, even though, you know, may not be as many people there, but it's going to grow. And Daniel Cooper. Yeah, so he says, I have not heard from you in a while. You still in Ghana, brother? Yes, I am. I haven't left. Been here the whole time. Master Glare says, not the public's donation bread. Yeah, tax write-offs, right? They do a good deed and, give the black folks a little sickness sometime, right? Okay, Megan Mallard, how are you? Now, let me get into a little bit of flow, and then we'll chop it up at any point later on, which won't be too long. You want to get in, I'll drop the link so you can come on in and say something if you want and be a part of the show forevermore. I'm going to look at something real here so we can be on the same page with the people who will thumbs it down, with the people who will get mad, for the people who will feel chastised, right? What is the definition of mental illness? Mental illnesses are health conditions involving changes in emotion, thinking, or behavior, or a combination of these. Mental illnesses can be associated with distress and or problems functioning in social, work, or family activities. Okay. What causes mental illness? Childhood abuse, trauma, or neglect, social isolation, or loneliness, experiencing discrimination and stigma, including racism, social disadvantage, poverty, or debt. Debt can drive you crazy. Poverty can drive you crazy. You have to know that the better days are coming if you continue to work hard and sacrifice. So, they're pretty much right. But look how they said it was racism also that can cause mental illness. So come on now. I'm not using this as a scapegoat or escape or leaving the door open. Who here hasn't experienced that? So we got to be strong in this society, those of us who have maintained our mental stability, but there are others out there who, like I said, we all have different responses or a different tolerance to the same stimuli. Just because we were strong enough to get through certain things, the other person next to you or that may have gone through the same thing or even a little less might freak out faster because they don't have the tolerance. I'm not going to say backbone, but they just don't have it. So I don't look down on those people who go through mental illness. All I'm saying is that when it's celebrated and engineered even more, especially when they target it toward the people and put it up there for us to aspire to be that, not me, not you, but those who are behind us in the generations, who are more impressionable. Those are the ones who may not even have a mental illness, but they'll adopt this thing because it's celebrated and they want the attention. And so they go into this thing not having a mental illness, and when stress hits them, they're already there. And you can't tell me this is not engineered. And yes, it spreads out to other populations. Yes, it does. But my focus is on us. Why is it that this thing was removed off the books in 1973 and now it's celebrated in 2023? Yes, it was celebrated in 2013 and 2003. We saw it coming out a little more in 1993. Around those 90s times, I believe it was when the black man that had the mustache, bald head, I keep forgetting what his name was. Had initials. Was his last name White? Or so? I'm not sure. But Down Low Brothers. And I already told a close friend about Down Low Brothers, but I didn't have the term coined. And that became the acceptable term coined about Down Low Brothers. And I was telling her, I said, most of the jobs that I worked on, I always dealt with the public. Whether it was driving the bus, working in the jail, driving a dollar van, working around my father, and at various short jobs that I worked. But I've always been around different people. I kind of sort of have the gift of discernment. We all pretty much do. We are very spiritual people on a positive level. Even demons, I'll say, have the gift of discernment. They have to know how to navigate. The gift of discernment and being spiritual, like hearing a radio frequency, especially when you're in war. They don't do it anymore because things are encrypted. But when you were at war back in the days, back in World War II, wasn't nothing going on with an encryption. It was nothing digital. You flying around trying to bomb your enemy, and he's listening to the very broadcast that's being given to you. So he knows how to give you the counterattack. Now it's a lot different. So we are in a war, in a constant war from many fronts. It's not just they're scooping us up to put us in the oven like they did with the Jews back in the Hitler time, more or less, depending. You know, I won't say nothing funny because with this thumbnail, they're looking to get me. You know what I mean? So I had to ask it, put it as a question, pose it as a question. Mental illness masked as entertainment? All I was doing was asking a question, and all I did was play a clip. And all I did was talk about the definition of mental illness and the cause of mental illness. I didn't say anything bad. If you thought anything bad or thought anything that I was attacking anybody, that's on you. Because I know how to talk and go right up to the line and go over the line and do the matrix and lean back over the line without crossing the line. Okay, here it is. Let's just read a few more things, and I'm gonna go cook it even more. How do you deal with mental illness? 9 ways to cope with having a mental illness. Let's see. It says more items here. Let me open this up. We had 2 minutes of mine. I'm not gonna read this whole article because when I opened up the bulleted points, it ended up being long paragraphs, right? Know your limitations, but focus on your strong points. That's 1. Figure out who will accept you. That's another one. Don't let people treat you badly. That's another one. Get treatment, get support, but don't become your illness. Give back something to your community. I guess that's to make you feel valued where you are. Hold yourself accountable. I guess that means you should think, before you start acting cuckoo. It's like, okay, I'm about to do this, so I'm going to be accountable and not do it. Gain wisdom from your setbacks and don't compare yourself with others. That's a big one. That alone, when you don't have a mental illness, will drive you crazy when you start comparing yourself with others. Let me tell you something. I was speaking to my dear friend Jack Griffin. Don't know if he's here, lurking in the shadows right now, but I had a conversation with him. It was a voicemail exchange where he's a very close friend of mine, but I let him in on all the dirt that I did graphically. And he already kind of knows. I gave it to him that way. I said, listen, I'm going to be very transparent with you. We were having a little, back and forth exchange. And I said, you know what? He asked me a question that had nothing to do with what I gave him. It was a very light question. Actually, and I'll get back on point with this. There's a picture with Muhammad Ali with either 3 of his wives that, at one point he was married to them, or I don't think it was all 4 of them. I think it was 3. And we always joked and said, man, he was sweating bullets then. Like, I think it was his last wife who, when they were younger, she was a little girl and he had a couple years on her and they grew up. And, when you get older, the age gap kind of gets smaller as far as how you deal with each other. It never changes. But, if I'm 15 and you're 5, later on when I'm 75, and you're 65, it's not that much of a difference. So it had to be his present wife at the time, Belinda, his future wife, Veronica, his last wife, Lonnie, and if the first wife was there, she was already divorced, whatnot. And it was like, he asked me, he says, were you ever in that kind of situation? And I kind of told him where, like, different people I was dealing with, I said, kind of, sort of, but let me explain. And oh boy, did I explain. I went in deep. If that's ever played publicly, that's definitely you can shadow ban me from here. The Kingdom's Come. It's going to have 1 million hits. Oh my God. I'll save that. And as we get closer, I'll send it to you. But right, I'll never run for president because if they tap into that, that's it. Yeah, Clive Davis. Ooh, that demon. So let me go back to something else here and then we'll cook a little more. I wanted to see this part here where they said types of mental illness. I hope it's not a long article. Okay, they said types. They got a long list here. Not a long list, about maybe 10. I'm going to read those off just to have it as a fact. So when people come into the comment section and start wanting, oh, you made this up. Oh, no, I didn't. Anxiety disorders. And I have a list of anxiety. Let me go read this. It's not that long. I'm just going to read off the bulleted points. Anxiety disorders, generalized anxiety disorders, social phobias, specific phobias, agoraphobia, claustrophobia, panic disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, Post-traumatic stress disorders. That's when I know real good, right? Behavioral and emotional disorders in children. Oppositional defiant disorder. Conduct disorder. Attention deficient hyperactivity disorder. Next, bipolar affective disorder. Depression, and they have a few things here, a little too much to list. Yeah, depression is another one. Disassociation and dissociative disorders. Eating disorders. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Paranoia. Wait a second, I got too many of these in this list. Am I normal, y'all? Post-traumatic stress disorder again. Psychosis. Schizophrenia. Now, see, you know, most people, when they watch movies or they look at the news and they saw the list of conditions that maybe a mass murderer had and says, oh, man, I'm not that bad. That's it at the extreme. Now, where are my slippers? The floor is a bit too hard. Let me put my feet up over here. Those are the extreme cases when people are at the end of their rope. And now, wait a second. Let me see if I can stop sharing this particular. Even though you can't see it, I'll stop sharing it. That's when they're at the end of their rope. But what about us walking around, functioning with these things? When you walk on a rug, you don't know what's swept under the rug. When you see somebody, you don't know what they're going through. How many times have I mentioned that time when, you know, we've heard it time and time again in different instances where a person went to work one day and he was just fine or she was just fine, and they went home and killed all their children, killed the wife, killed the dog, or killed the husband, and put the gun to their head. What were they going through? What were they going through? What were they going through? We don't know. So we all have breaking points. Like I said, some have a higher threshold of pain or being able to take more than others. I've learned in my life, my stuff wasn't where nobody was beating up on me or whatever. Well, the cops did, yeah, and that caused a lot of trauma. But my stuff was always emotional. I have taken, and I was speaking to Mr. Scurv about that. I was speaking about past relationships and situations, and in it brought me to literal tears earlier today. And it was like after I woke up, we were talking. I was up for about an hour, and we were discussing a specific individual in my past. And I brought certain things up maybe that she didn't know that I went through. And I was just, man, and for a second, I got really human on everybody. You know, I don't have regrets, but at that moment, I expressed, I said, man, if I had never gotten involved with that other person, I could have had so many free years in my life, and the effects of it have lasted to this day. You see, you have people who can get into your life, and this is another subject. I'm going to talk about it. You have people who can get into your life and really F it up. Not that they have the power to ultimately F it up, but for the time when you go into a relationship unsuspecting, believing the facade, believing their intentions, when all they wanted from you was a damn green card to make a few babies so that when you break up, you got to pay child support. Oh, I can tell you a whole lot of things. I pretty much gave it away. And how they will choose to harass that particular child that looks like you, who is the oldest one, who knows the deal and not the lies. And when you go into something like this with the best of intentions and you realize you spent all of these years being used and working hard and strung along, and the person never cared about you. There's some people out here who are demons. Let me tell you something. I'm being very transparent on that. And they can drive you literally crazy. And I was at that point, not of crazy, but I was really at the end of my rope for real, for real. And I made certain decisions around those times that were foolish in reaction, but I've been through it, y'all. And it all came back to me when I was speaking to Mrs. Scurv, and I was so angry. And I said, you know what? Here I am. And there's no regrets. And you know me, I'm enjoying each and every day. So I'm not hung up on the fact that I'm 60 years old. All I'm saying is that how much further could I have gone if I didn't get involved with that person? You know what I mean? To the point where they were so manipulative. April 28th, 1994, my mother passed away. May 23rd, 1994, I was getting married to this demon because I was so out of it emotionally, and they manipulated me because they wanted to get what they can get. I can tell you about that. I'll tell it publicly because I don't care right now. Now I'm really over it as of this morning. You see what I mean? And it really hurt to the point where just thinking about it and just thinking about what was done to me emotionally and wasting my time. So you know what? Still, as you see, I'm not bitter at all women. Women are wonderful, the ones who are wonderful. And so I'd like to talk about things like this, but I want everybody to know that I'm not hateful toward women. My sisters, I love you all because you all are individuals and you never did anything to me bad. And I had a wonderful relationship with my mother. So there was no, but when I go in on those types, I'm going to do a show or two, maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime next week. Again, for the people who don't know this platform, who pass through first and say, oh, for the first time, oh, this guy's bitter about women. No, I'm not. Ask Mrs. Scurv. I treat her very well. And I've treated all the relationships I've been in very well, even the one that did that to me, that I was married to for a long time. Even when I saw the game being pulled over my eyes, I was a hopeless romantic thinking, well, you know, this is going to end up being different. I'm going to stick it through. I'm going to work it out. To the point now, what hurt me is that for her to ruin the mind of my children against me. And so I've always told people in private, I said, one of the ways, except for the oldest one now, but one of the ways that they will know me is that the things I put out online. And we've had strained conversations, but the mother's a demon. I'll say that. I don't care who doesn't like it, because I would never say it if it wasn't true, but it put me through hell for a decade plus. So it wasn't just that when I divorced her, that it was all over. There was a psychological games that were being played and a manipulation that was played. I'll get back on the topic. I'm just ranting on that. I remember after I had divorced her and I'm driving the bus, I had a bus route that went right by the apartment where my kids were, right? One day I'm driving the bus and she calls me to tell me that my daughter was raped while I'm driving the bus. And in those days, you can talk on your cell phone when you drove the bus. I'm crying driving the bus. I'm forgetting about the route. People that knew me were trying to console me. I called the supervisor. He's like, listen, don't even drive the bus. You're out of it, man. I'll come meet you and get you a replacement driver. And he did. And he drove me to my old apartment. And I realized that that did not happen, because who they said did it, I was about to kick in their door and literally kill them. And I'm glad that that supervisor, Dwayne Robinson, was there with me that day. He said, man, let me pull your coat on something, man. You told me the kind of relationship it was. This is some game to get you in trouble. Because all the time she used to call the cops and say I hit her when it never happened. I would never do nothing like that. She'd die if I hit her. 8 times the cops were called. And the last time they said to her, listen, if you call the cops on him one more time, even if he did do it, we're taking you to jail. Thank you for listening to that. I had to get that off my chest. I've been through so much, y'all, and I have tremendous insight on situations and a tremendous gift of discernment on things I see, not because I'm some holy roller pastor, because when you've been through some shit, you know some shit, okay? So that's what it is. And that's the tip of the iceberg. Oh, that's the tip of the iceberg. And it's healthy for you to let these things out, let the chips fall where they may. And some people say, well, there's 2 sides to every story. Yes, of course there is. And the third and the fourth and all the other people, I got some incredible stories to tell you. And this is why I can derive my topics from, because of personal experience. But back on to everything else. Wow, I got out of that. I got that out of my system. I hope she's listening. And I invite her to come on in and try to say something else about me. But anyway, mental illness masked as entertainment. See, we are the face of every decadent indulgence that the oppressor indulges in, but we're put out there like that. We're supposed to be 13 or 14% of the population in America, which there are more. It's more than that, y'all. It's more than that. Because there's a lot of folks from the Caribbean, there's a lot of folks who are in the Latino community who are black and don't want to be that. Look at Kamala Harris. She could never say her father was Jamaican. But when she wants to be Indian, she's Indian. And when she wants to be going to a black college and known as this black woman, she don't really say that. And the way she treated black men when she was putting them away behind bars for minor charges, she hates black men. And look what she's married to. So I'll admit that she probably traumatized too, but she's sick too. And we've all been touched on certain levels. We all have sores. I don't mean actual sores on our skin, but wounds and sores that when touched, it's like, we react. Not that we all had major trauma. I didn't have any major trauma when I was a child growing up. But when I got to be an adult, more so, oh man, one thing after another. One thing after another. So we're always put up as the face of this. And there are some of us who are mentally sick that will perpetuate something for the attention that they can get. And Hollywood loves this because now there's so many of us that are willing to step up to the plate to be the next fool to be used to downgrade the mindset of our youth. So what is Saucy Santana, and I'm picking on him right now, is he going to be on the box of Wheaties now? He's not an athlete, but he's an athlete, okay? So they'd rather that over the athlete. He's an athlete, okay? Athletes play games. Athlete have people playing their ass. And that's where they're leading us because in the anus, there are no ovaries. But you know what? One day, just like they're trying to rob the wombs of healthy Black women and put them in these trans things to have babies. Why are you doing that? What a waste of time. Why can't you look for the cure for cancer? Why can't you look for the cure for AIDS? Why can't we look to cure real mental illness and not take this societal degrading and downturn? Like I said last night, was it 2 nights ago? I'm always saying it every show. I find a way to stick it in. The oppressor hates all things nature, all things God force, life force, the Most High, the Creator, whatever you want to call it. We didn't put this wonderful natural system together ourselves. You understand? So we came here and everything was prepared for us, but there's something, some spirit, some entity, some force, seen and unseen, working through the oppressors like a marionette puppet. There's something even more behind all of this. It's not just a few people sitting around a desk saying, okay, we're going to have it this way. There is a big force. I won't say supreme because it's not a supreme over the ones that made us and the spirits that we have on the inside. But it hates us on all fronts, and it's a war on us on all fronts, and it's not paranoia. How do we go from Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, John Shaft to this on the banner in front of us? They didn't do this in the civil rights movement time. I'm not saying I'm all for the civil rights movement because it was human rights, and that's why Malcolm X was shot, because he was going to bring that to the United Nations, what's going on with us as a human rights issue, and met with other world leaders and was going to bring the heat down. But the United Nations is down with all the decadence. They're just a front. They ain't going to do nothing for you. They just there like a security guard. Security guard can't do nothing to you. He's just the eyes and ears. You can take something off for the show. Hey, security guard, I'm about to steal this right now. Legally, he has no right to put his hands on you. And I guess in different states and different jurisdictions, they have a different gradual kind of way of doing things. But for the most part, he can't do anything. He can just document it and pass the information along. Because if he puts his hand on you, he's wrong. You see what I mean? But this thing is pushed on us. And it's not just that community that has this saucy, sissy, Susan, whatever, an athlete, put up there, but it's the promiscuity of the women who are pushed in the entertainment industry. But we had the Supremes and we had the different female groups back in the 60s and the 50s and early 70s. You know, even in the 70s for the most part, you could find a few who did certain things. I mean, I know Millie Jackson was an entertainer. Never, ever change a lover in the middle of the night. Whoa, that's kind of heavy. You got one and you got another one. I get these flashbacks with these old songs. There's certain things that were adult that we can laugh at. But for the most part, if you sung well and you performed well to touch the spirits of the masses, to give them that good feeling, It's no good no more. You have to have your titties hanging out. You have to have a wardrobe malfunction to sell more stuff. You got to do a photo shoot half naked as a singer. So, I mean, what is it to be a doctor now? You know, you don't have to go through these exams to get your certifications as a doctor. You got to go run track. Why is it that you got to do something different outside of being a singer? You got to be a porn star these days. Damn near. Leaked sex tapes. The technology is used against us to the point where you have young ladies now who feel they got to go out there and be whores. I'm not talking about a woman who has a man or she gets with a man and they indulge and they're intimate with each other and they're committed. I'm not talking about that. Suck on. Do it all you want to do and behind closed doors. That's a beautiful thing. Righteous soul ties. But this laying up with everybody, giving yourself to everybody, you have to be a whore or a gay dude before you can get any fame. And when they put you out there as a straight dude, you still had to do gay things. I don't push other channels, but I have to give credit where credit is due. I don't hijack anybody's line of thinking, but I listen to Ringo TV. It's just the way it's spelled. And he was basically saying how Jamie Foxx, back when he was in Living Color, and what was the name of the character with the lips and the dress and the wig and acting? Yeah, he had to wear that dress back then. So therefore, you know, we forget that before we knew he was a singer, before we knew he was a really great, serious actor, we knew him as this dude who wore the dress. And that was the most popular skit, or one of them, not by my standards, but by the way people reacted to him. One of the most the emasculation of a black man. You got to be this before you can do that. The way he sings, the way he acts, the way he does impersonations of other people, that Ray Charles movie, come on, y'all. He did a Mike Tyson when I can't wait for that one to come out. And I know it's like he morphs into, he has real talent, but why did he have to come out and be in a dress? So think of all the black men that did not want to do that gay and straight. So he was basically saying that, hey, we love him now. He's a decent man now appearing. But back in those formative years and his time in the entertainment world, he had to wear that dress. So even if you don't wear the dress, what about those black men in Hollywood who did things behind closed doors in front of a video camera? That's the other thing I'm hearing. There's so many that we think didn't do something, they did something. Because really, are they going to allow you now to be promoted by them? Pushed by them, money spent out of their pockets? You're not a person anymore. They own you, and to continue to own you, they got to hang something over your head. Look, that's not even a conspiracy theory. We can see that by now. In 2023, all the gay dudes who told me 20 years ago that, oh, no, there's not a conspiracy. Oh, no, you're just imagining things. There were always this amount of gay men out there. Oh, hell no. Even to the point of those back in the 70s that I knew that were gay, you couldn't even call them a faggot. They would beat you in a very hetero way. You don't call them that. That was a very disrespectful word. And a lot of them didn't even put what they did outside in the street. Now, you had the occasional sissy sashaying with the handkerchief tied around their neck. But you had that dude who didn't bother nobody, and you saw him go home from work on a Friday night with his friend. And the friend left Monday morning with a different change of clothes and went to work. But they ain't bother nobody. If they were by the ice cream truck, they weren't no pedophiles, and we knew that. They bought some of the kids, you know, ice cream. They might talk with the old granny on the steps over there. They'll wave at you, but they knew that you knew what they were all about, and they wasn't trying to push up on you. You understand? If a kid was running down the street, they'd run out and stop the kid from getting hit by a car. So there was a mutual distance back then. But this brazen, to get back on the Santana type of athlete, this brazen in your face, I'm proud of my decadence, fanned on by Hollywood and social media and all of those other resentful people. See, you know, people say you're picking on them too much. Like I said, it could be the hyper masculine black man who wants to screw everything in sight. That's mental illness too, because you don't feel as though you have any power in this present world. So the only thing you know that you have power in, or a pseudo sense of power, is in your dick. You think not? Go past all them dudes on the corner who are hanging out. Some may be hustling. Some are just hanging around to get a little free meal for looking out for the dude on the corner who's hustling. Might be 15 of them. But if they don't have a Chinese food carton in their hand or a 40-ounce drinking, and I'm not stereotyping, they on the corner in the hood. Where are their hands? Their hands are holding their dicks, the most precious, powerful thing in their mind that they have. And when the girls walk by, and the women walk by in the morning time going to work, because a lot of these guys who hang in the corner, if they hustling hard, they'll get up early, stay out late. Hey, girl, how you doing? What's your name? You looking fine right now. And she may say thank you and keep going. Why don't you come over here and talk to me? And listen, I got to go to work. Oh, all of a sudden she turns into a bitch now. Oh, that bitch don't want to get nobody the time of day. Fuck you, bitch. You see what I mean? Well, all the while they got their hands on their dick. And as soon as she gets a little distance away, I'll break your back with this thing. I'll tear you up. I'll turn you out. Is that the only place you feel like you have power? If you felt like you had power somewhere else, Hollywood couldn't turn you into something else. That thing is in you, but it's amplified by them. There's a point when Saucy Santana was a little boy. Is a point, and it gets to the argument, oh, I was born that way. No, listen. And the only way I would entertain something like that is knowing that they will do things chemically to our food and on a spiritual level to catch us before we even born. I'm willing to entertain that thought right now. More and more, I'm willing to entertain that thought. But 99.9% of y'all, you going into that thing. And their trauma will cause you. Understood, right? But one thing I want to say about the enemy on all levels, right? That with CERN and the releasing of all of these entities out into the earth, and we have enough willing participants who want to get into the decadence more. And when you're into decadence, and you have now a spiritual issue on top of that, which there's always an element of that where you're open. The portals, the spiritual portals are open to receive things. And if you're receiving just trauma and other examples of that same kind of decadence, you're going to get into it more. And like minds, stay with like minds, kindred spirits. There's a reason for that. So why is it that, you kind of end up hanging out with what you are? Even back in the day when you had gay men who didn't act gay, they knew who each other were. You're like, how they all find each other? About 10, 15 deep, hanging out in the apartment with one of these dudes. What's up with that? The undercover lesbians. Look, we talk about down low brothers. We got a lot of down low lesbians. Look at the relationship that I was in when I was in my 20s with a girlfriend who I was head over heels with her intelligence, her looks, whatever. And after a while, a couple of weeks, she let me know after we met, I'm a carpet muncher. You know what I mean? I wasn't attached all the way there. No problem. We have a little fun. Lego set, connect the dots until it got to be something that became an acquired taste for me, right? So all of these things can spread no matter what. Decadence is like that whirlpool that sucks you in. And if it doesn't find the same way that this other one, it's going to find something to grab you and become an addiction. I know that for a fact, right? So I can't throw off on anybody, but I can point it out because we all have our weaknesses. We all have our propensities for certain things. And hopefully by the time we get to a certain age, we can get over it. You know what I mean? But in the black church, there's a lot of church sisters, and I know this for the fact. They saved and sanctified, and a lot of them got their husbands. But when they get together, oh, I'm going over Sister So-and-so's house. We're going to do a little baking of cakes and, talk about something. The sister's going to hang out. Them dress hems ain't around the knees no more. Them dress hems are up around their waistline. Somebody's on their knees and it ain't to pray. Trust me. Hey, baby, what were you eating when you were over there? Oh, we were cooking fish. It wasn't cooking no fish. You were eating fish, but it wasn't no fish that swims around in the sea. I'm hip to that. I saw my own 2 eyes. I've dealt with church ladies who were like that when I was younger and they were robbing the cradle. when I was a young man with a nice body doing bodybuilding and they 30, 40, 50 years old. I was a pass around for a lot of these freaks. I know, see, that's one thing. I know me some freaks. Sometimes I don't say anything because I got that mark on me still. They can see it in me. They try me all the time too. When you sold drugs, and I never sold drugs, I used this example before, and I'm going to say it again. When you sold drugs and you don't sell it no more, and you move to a different city, and you're settled and with your family and your kids, and you're upstanding and working a good job, I have your business, and you wouldn't dare do that again. But you're at the red light, and you see a dude walking across the street, and you look at him, you're like, you tell your wife, you see that guy over there? He's looking to cop some drugs. Honey, how do you know that? He's dressed so nice. He's got a nice watch on. Trust me, I know. And she might see him another time when she's driving by herself. Oh, you're right. I saw him shake hands for an extended period of time with the local drug dealer. See, I told you. There's layers to our existence. And when you know certain things, you know certain things. There may be layers that you don't know, that you don't have experience with. But when you get, just like, okay, look, you get a gay dude. You might know him. He might be in your family. He might be a neighbor. You don't have no reason to be mad at him. You just know he's gay. And ladies, you have that gay friend and he tells you, you see him over there, he gay. It's like, I know him all my life. I'm telling you, hands down, he ain't gay. Honey, believe me, I know. And 5, 10 years later, you find out that this dude is really that way. And this gay, they in that thing. It's a spirit thing and a mental illness thing. This is their thing. It shouldn't be. Look at Saucy Santana. He was turned out and traumatized somehow. No excuse. Spirits are on him. He's getting paid to be this way. But when you look at a man's balls and how he can impregnate a woman, and the man is straight and the woman is straight, and they decide to build a family. Remember that white family back in the 70s on TV? The King family. Might have been like 500,000 of them. But when you trace back, you're like, yo, I traced this back to one womb and one set of balls. And they moved in unison. Didn't seem like anyone was a criminal or was some kind of decadent whatever. They're dancing and singing the King family. I don't know. If you're old enough, you'll remember that, right? So, and you're right, mixed genre. If it's on TV, it'll get normalized. Music industry is nothing now. It doesn't even have, would you say, Kenny Spears? It was tuna fish. See, that's why I'm not gonna look at the chat room. You're gonna throw me off because y'all are funny. I love looking at it after, and I'll look at it in a little while, right? But they're exploiting those who have mental illness, and this is why many in the entertainment industry have that depression, substance abuse, and all things along those lines. And I don't know if I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this real quick. The entertainment industry is known for its demanding nature and intense pressure, which can have a significant impact on the mental health of individuals working within it. While it's important to note that not everyone in the industry experiences mental illness, there have been numerous reports and studies highlighting the prevalence of mental health challenges in this field. Number 1, stress and burnout. The entertainment industry often involves long working hours, tight deadlines, and high levels of competition. This can lead to chronic stress and burnout, which may contribute to mental health problems such as anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. Number 2, perfectionism and self-criticism. Many individuals in the entertainment industry face immense pressure to meet exceptionally high standards, both from themselves and from others. This relentless pursuit of perfection can lead to self-criticism, low self-esteem, and feelings of inadequacy, potentially resulting in conditions like eating disorders or body dysmorphia. Number 3, rejection and uncertainty. The entertainment industry is notorious for its unpredictable nature, where individuals face frequent auditions, rejections, and job insecurity. This constant uncertainty can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and depression. Number 4, public scrutiny and cyberbullying. That's something that wasn't around years ago. Those in the public eye often face intense scrutiny from the media and the public. Social media platforms have made it easier for fans and critics to voice their opinions, sometimes leading to cyberbullying and online harassment. This constant exposure and criticism can negatively impact mental health, causing anxiety, depression, and other psychological issues. Isolation and loneliness. Despite the glamorous image associated with the entertainment industry, many individuals experience feelings of isolation and loneliness. Long periods away from family and friends, irregular schedules, and constant travel can make it challenging to maintain strong social connections, contributing to mental health problems. Number 6, substance abuse and addiction. The entertainment industry has historically had higher rates of substance abuse and addiction. The pressures of the industry, coupled with easy access to drugs and alcohol, can lead to self-medication or the development of dependency issues. Last but not least, lack of mental health support. In some cases, the entertainment industry may not prioritize mental health adequately. Access to mental health resources, such as therapy and counseling, may be limited, and there could be a stigma surrounding seeking help due to concerns about professional reputation and confidentiality. Recognizing the impact of these factors, some individuals and organizations within the entertainment industry have been advocating for improved mental health support, destigmatizing of mental illness, and the creation of healthier work environments. It is crucial for the industry as a whole to prioritize the well-being of its professionals and take proactive steps to address the unique challenges they face. But you see, we all know this. Maybe, some of us have maybe like overlooked certain things and say, these are not things that you never heard before. But to lump sum it into one little article like that, when you can see, it's not an easy thing to get into. And when you're already crazy and cuckoo and twisted, it's going to twist you up even more. These people, and most of these people enter into this thing with mental health issues. Could you imagine, like they said, the constant auditions, the rejection, the easy access to substances, the cocaine, the liquor, the Molly, angel dust, methamphetamine, the parties, the socialite Hollywood parties that, if you get invited, it's your duty to go there because you're going to meet producers. You're going to meet people that have the money. You get a connection. They pass you a card. Listen, I want to talk to you later on tonight. Maybe you can meet me by my place. You go over there all dressed up in S&M gear and a big dildo with spikes in it they're going to put in you. You know what I mean? You never know what you're getting into because they hold the control. And many of us will do things that we never thought that we'd do just to think that we're going to get a break. And then you don't get it. You get used. You get drug addicted. You're depressed. You're left from where you are in a stable lifestyle. You said, I'm going to pursue my dream and I believe God's going to be behind me. The creator ain't going to lead you down this way to something so wicked. Look, for those we see in Hollywood who it's all glossed up and they have all of this talent and all of this different stuff, could you imagine how many people out here are just as worthy or not more for us to support and to see who are really, really, really talented over and above what you see, who can handle the deadlines and handle those things? They live clean and they're not doing certain things, but because they're not doing certain things, they're not going to be accepted into the industry. You got to do something that you usually don't want to do. So imagine if a dude is already gay and they say, hey, you got to go in there with the executives. There's 6 of them waiting for a blowjob. You got to hit them all off and you ain't spitting. Okay, if that puts me on top. No, that's not enough. Even for the gay dude, you got to do something beyond what your limitations are. So after you take care of them 6 executives, we got a German shepherd up in there waiting for you. And you got to do the same thing until he ejaculates in your mouth. See, now, oh, hell no, I don't do no dogs. Well, you better start doing it because we're going to put you on. Look, go back to your little mediocre, nondescript life. And they start thinking, we're going to give you one chance. Here's a card. Call us back tomorrow or bust. And they'll do it. They'll do it. A lot of them will do it. Look at the Instagram models who put themselves out there. And we think they're just taking pictures. Instagram is the new or modern day hoe stroll. I don't call women hoes, but you know, back in the cities, small towns, big cities, whatever, and they said hoe stroll, HOESTROLL. You know, when we take a stroll, we walk a little bit. Well, that's where the prostitutes walk. And you know, some dudes, they take the long way home after going to the grocery store for their wife and go down the whole stroll to see what's out there. Whole stroll. That's what they do on Instagram. Now, we really don't see as much prostitution on the street like we used to. Now, I go way back. Some people will say, well, I didn't never see it that much anyway. I remember pre-crack. In Queens, New York, I'm always trying to drop facts for people who may see this later. Like, yo, you right about that, man. I remember that too. You had a street 1 block over from Sutphin Boulevard, about a mile away from where I lived, called it was Waltham or Waltham, depending on how you pronounced it. And by Liberty Avenue and Waltham, going down to South Road in Waltham, women were walking around. There were houses in those on that block. But late at night, they were walking. And back in those days, you didn't have crackheads and crack whores. These women were very healthy looking. They had weight on them, right? But they did what they did. Now, going all the way down from Waltham and South Road, going all the way down to South Road near the 40 projects by that trestle, I believe on 160th Street or 159th Street, that's where they were at night. You go by Jamaica Avenue and 161st Street and walk up 161st Street past 89th Avenue. 89th Avenue is where I was beat by those 11 cops. I should know. You had prostitutes there. Now in Manhattan, back in the 70s and 80s, probably coming up near the 90s, it diminished. Anything from 42nd Street and 8th Avenue over to the west side, forget it. Going up to probably 51st or 50th Street and 8th Avenue, down to 14th Street and going to the west side. So you had 9th Avenue, 10th Avenue, 11th Avenue, 12th Avenue, all them intersections from the 50s down to 14th. But when you got down to 14th, or really like around 17th, 18th, 16th Street, 15th, look, I done been around. I'm telling you what I know. This is historic. You ain't never going to hear this nowhere else, unless somebody knew. On 14th Street, those 4 blocks, they weren't women. They were trannies. I don't think we had any transsexuals where they cut the organ off, but they were dudes out there. Now, they messed around with the hormones and the silicone shots, and people knew. So if you saw dudes down there, they can play, oh, man, I didn't know. There was a dude that I know from the neighborhood. We all busted him down there because we were taking these girls on a tour. Because I would have my van in later years, in the 90s, and drive people around, family, friends. Yo, Lance, man, I was telling my boy, man, how you drive people around. We'll slip you a few bucks. And a couple of my friend's sisters wanted to go safely. We want to see what you see because we don't have the nerve to go out there by ourselves. So I said, okay, what kind of tour does your family want? Or somebody who half knew me, what kind of tour of New York City do you want? Oh, we're going with church people. We just want, we don't want that nighttime stuff. We don't want to see anything bad. Okay, I got you. We saw the nice things. But if you wanted to see the real deal, it was like Jungle Habitat. I don't know if you remember Jungle Habitat. What was that in Jersey, right? Where they had these kind of manufactured safaris and lions and different things, but you had to stay in your car. If your car broke down, they'd have some people that drove up and they were equipped to deal with the wild animals. I think those animals too were shot up a little bit and sedated. You know what I mean? And well fed. But this is what it was like. And so we zigzagged these streets and they could not believe, even some people who lived in New York City who worked on those streets in the corporate level in Manhattan in the day, they did not know what was going on in those streets at nighttime. We're driving in the van higher up, and you're looking down in the car driving past, watching that girl go up and down, watch her head go up and down, going to town. I told you at the time that we were in Manhattan hanging out, and we saw a mailman right there on, it was 8th Avenue, I think, right across from Madison Square Garden. I won't say it's the world's biggest post office. I heard it was, but it was like from 33rd, 34th, from 8th to 9th Avenue. Huge. That was the main one before things got divvied out to the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens, and Brooklyn, and the other parts of Manhattan. And so we got the car, we were walking around. And so we walking down the street, and right there at the post office, the dude had the postal outfit on, federal job, getting paid good money. He was leaning on the back of a truck. The truck was open. A lot of trucks were around there that cast shadows and made little nooks and crannies. But that was the street where the hookers were out. Homeboy was laying back, not laying back, standing up, but leaning on, I'll never forget it, the truck with his arms crossed, and he saw us coming, and he wouldn't even move. He was smiling and laughing. And when we got close enough, we saw how one foot was up on the curb and the other one was just down on the street, like right there in the gutter. And homegirl was on, and he's going to town. And he's looking at us like, hey, like I'm the man. Now, we walked around a little bit, we being nosy, we young, we teenagers and stuff. We never did nothing bad or did nothing out there like that, but we wanted to see. There's the older fellows that I hung out with, they had the car, and I didn't have a car and I wasn't driving, but I still went out to the city on different levels. That's why I have so much damn stories. I got stories galore before the age of 16. So I'm 60 now, what you think? Now we swung around on the way back to get back to the car. We saw a homeboy with another hooker doing the same thing. And he's laughing, and he waved at us. He gave us, the high from the air. You know what I mean? I was like, man, if he gets caught in uniform right there, he's toast. I couldn't believe it. See? And just like you said, Jaguar, yeah. She told a lot of things. In New York and different major cities, you see a lot of things. Not that you don't see them in smaller cities. See, now everything's out. Everything's out. But to get back to the original thing, the internet and social media has made it easy. The Tinder app, the different apps for specific things. Dudes don't have to go out and cruise in a bar to find another man to play around with. You can sit down from the comfort of your own home and create whatever profile you want and put it out there to the world what you're into, and find somebody without, because remember, like I said this on other shows before. Imagine, let's just go back to the 1700s, not the 1700s when we're in slavery. Let's just remove slavery from that, right? I'm not trying to ignore slavery, right? I'm just saying because of lack of technology. Let's go back that far. If a man who was married was attracted to a woman who was married or not, small town, how can he say this to her? She was in the same church. She was in the same neighborhood. How can he convey this to her safely and actually get with her? Now, maybe this can happen in a 2 or 3 day period if he got a number and they're texting back and forth with each other. If he's slick with the words, he can get what he wants. But this might take 7, 8, 9, 10 years to safely face-to-face convey that I want to stick my penis in you, but I'm married. You see what I mean? Now, technology makes it all easy. You can be faceless. You can put stuff out there and thousands of people see it, and you take your time through the profiles. And just like they have YouTube shorts, Instagram reels and shorts, the TikTok shorts, it is conditioned on minds that have more of a short attention span. So those of us who are older, don't have to be old, but we're over the hump of that social media influence on us. It don't get us like that. But the youngsters now, what about them? They get so used to looking at something, looking at the profile. Oh, I like her. Oh, no, her butt ain't big enough. Oh, look at them lips she got. I know what she can do. you get with somebody not based on the fact that you're really, really, really interested in them. And just like we spoke about compatibility last night and getting into relationships and jumping into things too fast, what do you think social media these days facilitate? They're against everything also. If you had, it's as good as the people using it. See? So even Mrs. Scurv, she was saying, now that we're going to be live streaming, do more stuff, you got to set up my social media for me. I said, I'll run it for you. No problem. But there will be dudes trying to say something slick out the mouth and whatever. That ain't going to happen because I'm running it. We got to protect our people. I'm like the guy who works in the sewer. I'm used to the sewer. I'm used to the rats. I'm used to the shit pieces and chunks floating past me. I'm gritty like that. Although when stripped of the grittiness, I'm still an upstanding young man who will make you proud, right? You can invite me anywhere and I'll do you proud. But if you want to get gritty, it don't get no more gritty than me because there's nothing that my eyeballs haven't seen. And it's pretty much that I haven't done, but I don't do men. I don't do drugs. I don't do violence on women. I don't do messing around with no kids. There's a couple other things there, but those are the major things. But I've seen just about everything with my eyeballs. And in seeing those things, I've had to prevent certain things from happening on my watch. Sometimes I've done some things that I can't repeat, but I'm not going to face my creator, face my God, face my most high, face my God force and say, hey, why did you watch that happen around you? Even if it costs your life. That's why I think I'm protected, because a few times that I've had to do things that others would have ran away from or whipped out a cell phone, even before cell phones were around. But that type of cowardly spirit, I think that's why I've been protected so long and preserved. You know what I mean? But yes, I will say, don't know the actual percentage. Like I always say, it could be 51%. It could be 99%. But I will say the majority of Black people in America suffer from some kind of mental illness. It may not be you. It may be that percentage that's not. But we feel the heat of it in our families. We feel the heat of it in our communities. How we are attacked and run down by the police officers, and the tensions that we have to feel on that alone. To go to jobs where there's so much racism, but they're smiling in your face, acting like it doesn't exist. The crazy Karens out of control. The crazy Brads out of control. Your own people who hate on you. You go to a church every daggone week and you go into the worship next to haters. And what are you worshiping? A white Jesus, pretty much. Color don't matter. Well, if color mattered, why don't they present them a different way? That was used to control you in slavery. Now, we all have our spiritual systems and different things, but why don't we get down to the nitty gritty and core of it all, whatever it may be, as far as the tenets and attributes of one who is trying to improve themselves and treat each other better. You're praising the Lord and you're hating your neighbor. And they always make you say, that's the first time you see the person standing next to you sometime in church. Go to your neighbor and say it's going to be all right and shake their hand and give them a hug. And you turn around and you're like, oh man, I didn't know they were sitting next to me, because you didn't look at them. Weird. We have become weird, and we are so separated, and we got so much mental illness, and we smear it over when the white man wants to give us a few dollars, and it's okay. Mark my words, it's going to take about 10 years, but somebody's going to get on social media, might be 5 years, eating some dog shit with a fork and putting ketchup on it, all on a dare. We do the things that we need to do to get attention so bad because we're so damaged. We want validation and attention and applause so bad, we'll do damn near anything. The name attention whore has gone to a higher level now. Like this one here right in front of us. A chubby dude who should be with a woman. Don't tell me what I should be with. No, you shouldn't be with a woman in this state that you're in. But you were not made to be up there with some long ass fingernails, that little outfit he got with the thumb out and the rest of the fingers separate, and you got nerve to wear a beard. And we know what you are. And like you said in that video, you ain't got to pay for no man. You got such a swag and you got such a charisma, whatever the words he said exactly. And who are these dudes running him down? Check it. There's dudes looking at him, sisters. Talking about, damn, I like to get with him. Now, maybe the women don't know, But when a man sees a woman that he thinks looks good, and it may be in lust, it may not be in love, or maybe just appreciation, there's a grunt that he does under his breath. Could you imagine some dude walking around straight, even holding the hand of his wife, holding the hand of his girlfriend, and cutting the eye at this Sissy Santana, the athlete? Look at that. Come on. And you saw the other dude behind him in that in the Twitter thing, a real goosing him. Goosing him and goosing, you goose him, you're going to feel some balls. Chubby, look, I ain't throwing off on, I can't even call him a brother. I'm not going to say that. I don't know what he is. I don't care what he is. But that dude looked musty. That dude looked like a chubby, musty. Look, back in the day, we would go to the clubs and we would play house music. You know, back in the, I mean, I love house music, right? I wasn't a club guy, but a couple of times, a couple of young ladies like, come on out with us, Lance. You could be our bodyguard. You could hang out with us and you might get lucky. I said, you might get lucky, right? We'd have fun. Wasn't no sex involved like that. A lot of flirtation that was friendly. And we go to the clubs and always, like when you had house music, you had a gay faction because they were one of the biggest supporters of house music. And I have to say, with certain genres of music and different things, they were with it. But you had to tolerate seeing that and say, okay, we going to, at least I got these chicks around me. And, not that somebody's going to run up at me and I need the chicks to protect me. But you saw that fat, chubby dude looking like Saucy Santana with the T-shirt that was tied around, revealing a chubby belly from the front and the back. And he was so chubby, it looked like he had little B cup or A+ cup titties. And they were dancing their ass off, but and like they had silicone shots in their backside, getting down to the music. I don't want to see that. But I went into a club, so you got to expect to see what you see. I remember back in the day, the Paradise Garage. If you don't know about that, Google it. I haven't been there a whole lot of times. It was a handful of times. But that club would open up and be open all night to about 12 noon. And they had a roof that you can go up when it got lighter, morning time, and dance. And a lot of these people were there, they were high on drugs to dance all night. You dance from 9, 10, 11 o'clock all the way till 12 noon the next day, going to get something to eat and come back to the club. And you didn't sleep yet? I've been in there, and it was open policy. Anything could walk in there. And you saw a lot of lesbians and gay dudes, a lot of hetero people, but there was a respect when nobody bothered each other. But the music was dope. That was just New York City back in the day. That was the early 80s, late 70s. I was slipping up in all these places. Very few places I haven't gone to. I don't go to no gay clubs. I've been in a few lesbian clubs because that's women. That's what I like. Okay? Even though they weren't paying me no mind, and a few were. I can tell you stories about that. But what I'm saying is that all of this stuff here, it has always been there, but it's put front line and center now for the younger folks to grasp it. Because when you are coming up 13, 14, 15, 16, and you go through those rebellious stages and you do something to piss your parents off, instead of just cutting your hair in a punk rock style or just being some kind of rebel or being somebody rebellious in school and getting bad marks, even though you were real smart, look what you have put in front of you now. A lot of boys want to piss their fathers off, either for not being there, and they may not consciously think this, like I'm going to be gay just to piss my father off, who was never in my life. But it happens. It's the ultimate thing. It's the same thing, right? You go to white suburbia. Ain't no black folks on there. Only black folks is the Aunt Jemima on the Aunt Jemima box or Uncle Ben's on the rice box in the supermarket. Ain't nothing black in there. If you see them, they got lost and turned around. And they before they even answer directions, you need to turn right here in the corner. Nigga, we know you don't belong here. So you got the white girl. She doing good in school. She 13 years old. Her father and mother get along with her. But now she's 17, one more year before she graduates, and the family is well off, not rich or wealthy, but they got it going on. And she doesn't want a brand new car, but she just wants to have that car that he doesn't take around a lot. Daddy, can I have that car and put it in my name? I'll maintain it. And he says no. And then he throws a few other things on. By the way, I'm not letting you get that car, and I don't like the way you've been dressing around them boys. You need to pull that back. So what does she do in her rebellious phase? She finds the biggest, blackest, thugged out, pants sagging, gold in the mouth. I'm not saying there's anything wrong to have gold. I'm just saying that stereotype with the locks to bring him home so that the father can see. And he's racist. And he's having nightmares about that long thing going up in his daughter. And so the daughter now acts a little more sexualized because she has a black boyfriend. And the rumor is she's sleeping with a black boyfriend. Right? And ain't nobody acceptable to them types. I don't care if he was going to college and he had money and he dressed nicely and he spoke well. He was an acceptable Negro. There's still the issue of the black dick. They don't like none of it, but don't be what you see on the news at night for robbing that liquor store or being out there selling drugs or being locked up. They watch the documentaries too of the black folks locked up. Oh my God, I would not want anything near my pure white daughter. And let me tell you something, it's not just a rebellious period either. Them white girls are jumping on black dick in record numbers. Trust and believe. And they still will act and throw your black ass under the bus when you think you got somewhere. Look, we'll talk about that tomorrow night. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about that. Because a lot of them used to come toward me and get away from me. I wanted to do with you. I love my sisters. Oh, nothing more beautiful. I'm not even just talking on a lust level, the soul you have. And that's what they want to destroy in this world. And they don't want you to have any soul for me, meaning us as righteous black men. They want to destroy everything. They'll give me an opportunity faster as a black man if they see me laying up with somebody like Saucy Santana. Because I've rejected the black masculinity card. Don't live in this world without it. And Hollywood is one big, thankless, evil, demonic machine to project this stuff out to the world. And like I mentioned with Hitler and the Jews, we're calling for our own doom because as long as we present ourselves as subhuman, as long as we present ourselves as less than, beast-like, decadent, look, whatever is decadent to the world, there are some of us who go out there and seek it out, grasp it, and try to outdo the ones who's doing it. Because these white folks are all doing it, and they really doing it. It's got to be engineered for us. And again, remember, if you don't get anything else from this little rant tonight, they are going and messing around on the spiritual levels. Not that they're good. They're dipping and dabbing in all kind of things and dealing with all kind of entities from the dark worlds. I don't mean the dark world of black people. I'm talking about the dark worlds on that spiritual level. They have no shame to venture in to different levels and different planes of existence to turn it around on us to get us out of here. We're a useless tool for them unless we're here to entertain them or turn up our orifices for their pleasure. Just like back in the day when they used to have those big things in the Colosseum in Rome and warriors chopping each other's heads off and all this stuff, fighting to the death. That's the position we're in now. And we're so willing to do it. So willing to do it, just not even to be super famous and get lots of money. Some of us will do it for free just to have validation from the enemy, just to get a hookup on something. And they're doing it across the board. I remember this dude owned a car lot and he was, the word around was if you were going over there and hitting them off, he'd give you a great discount as a lady for a car. But you had to keep up with the payments money-wise and wearing the knee pads. So there's a lot of things that are going on in the dark that are going to come out in the light. And even though you see Saucy Santana here, brazen and bold, and what he may say is proud with his mental illness, there's 100 times more of what you don't see. And you'd be surprised where it is in our neighborhoods, around the corner, in our households, in our churches, in our schools. We hear the teachers that are touching kids. We hear of this. But for everyone that's busted on the news, we say, oh God, this is disgusting. There's so many more that are doing it because everybody feels with their decadence, they can dip and dab a little bit and not get caught. Because you see, with decadence, that's the thrill. Doing it. See what happened to the innocent decadence? I mean, the innocent decadence of maybe I was on the side of the house with this girl and her father was upstairs. You know what I mean? And I got away with sucking a titty. And I got out of there. Ooh, I was sucking her titties and her father was upstairs. That's innocent. I didn't rape her. I didn't do. But these people, these dudes, these download dudes who are married to decent women, like I said, you go on the art page and you'll find that drawing that I did with the download brothers being sent to hell. Let me pull this up. They were being sent to hell. And it said, download brothers are hurting innocent victims. And hurting innocent victims, hurting H, innocent I, and V, you know, the V was the V, victims of V. Wait a second, do I still have that up there? Oh, here it go. Here it go right here. Here you go. I'm going to put the link right there, right? That's a drawing I did. I didn't care who liked it. And I'm going to be more radical right now. I'm going to tell you what I'm leaning toward on my next picture. One of them is putting two people that Kanye West had in trouble in a dress. Both of them. If it's good for us, damn it, it's good, you know, it's good for them. I'm going to put that imagery out there. Okay, where am I right now? Here you go. Here you go. Click on that, family. Click on that. Look at that picture real quick. Click on that. You probably saw it already. You know, you're right, Gabriella. We have to detach from the matrix as much as possible. Really and truly in this world, I'm not in need or in want of the things of this world like that. I've drove so many different cars, trucks and vans. I don't have a car right now. I'm living better. And I don't mean on certain levels, right? But I'm just saying that I'm not worried about maintenance right now. I'm not worried about, you know, the oil change. Now, if I was in the United States, I'd have to have it. If I was in Florida where I was, I'd have to have it. If I was in New York, I'd have to have it. Not even as much in New York. But here, where, let's say, the distance of, and not everybody knows Manhattan. I can't really relate it to other cities because but say you go on a bus, let's just say 25 miles. But the bus is one fare. But you take a cab that 25 miles, 30 miles. You know how much that's going to cost. You jump on one of these vans out here, and to go that same distance might be 7 CDs. And the rate of exchange is 10.85. I saw it earlier. Let's just say 10. And I said 7 CDs divided by 10, right? What is that? What is that? That's next to nothing. 70 cents to go 30 miles on a van. And they're all over the place. There's no, I have to have a Rolls Royce out here now and show off. No, I feel so free within my soul. I was always a free kind of person, and I knew the deal, but them pressures are not on me having to see this stuff like this. It's a different culture, yes, it's black people, and they look at me as different a little bit because I'm from another country, but whew, you got Saucy Santana's over here, but they ain't busting out like that yet. And Kamala Harris came over here to push that foolishness. But let me tell you something. Don't come out here and try that brazen. A lot of the people out here may look docile, but you got a faction of very militant people who can be way up on the mountain, snuff you out. Am I making threats? No. And when I say snuff you out, maybe to YouTube, I mean taking tobacco and putting snuff on the face. So you can't tell me what I meant. I said that on the record, but you know what I mean. They take that serious out here. And there is a good amount of it out here. I wouldn't say in the same proportions as America, but it's here on a very subtle level. Because dudes be throwing them eyes at me with my old ass. I'm like, yo, you gonna be hitting? Come on, man. Hitting on me for what? Come on. You ain't getting nowhere with me. Don't come near me with that. Trust me, there's a lot of dark shadows and dark alleyways out here, but you'll be laid out. Jack Griffin in the house. I didn't see you. I remember that pic. That's an old one. I believe JG helped on those verses. Wow. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait a second. You talking about Saucy Santana? Yeah. You did. You did. You saw it. I was zoned out talking. But yeah, I always seem to get my eye pulled over there when I'm talking, when I see Jack Griffin in the house. And for those who don't know, we go back to the 70s. We go back a long way. And pretty much, there ain't too much that Jack Griffin don't know about me. Even more so. Ain't that right? But yeah, like I said, mental illness and to come out of these things. How do we come out of this? How does a Saucy Santana come to his wits? Is he going to have to be 70 years old and write a book about how he wasted his life with these different practices and different things? And I don't mean just to drag him because he's a homo. I'm a hetero. And I done did some things that would take most people to the place of mental illness. I've seen too much. I've been through a lot. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, thank you, Master Glam. And there's more on that. Sorry about that. But I'm going to put them back in. And there'll be more. And I set this whole thing up myself. And those are different things down through the years. But for me, artwork is not like, oh, I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm rusty. No, the more passion I have is the more it's going to be detailed even more. And some of them are like cartoonish more than others because of the time that I spent on it, or just wanted to rush it and hurry it up, or, you know, somewhere on the back of an envelope and somewhere on nice paper, whatever have you. Some are funny, some are, you know, just expressing different views, different things that happen. But now y'all got me back looking on this thing now. Yeah, kind of go through that and check it out. There'll be a whole lot more. You know, I'm 60 now. I want it to be, if I'm blessed to be 80 years old at one point, that I can look back on 20 years of putting out something once a week, like I should have done from back when I got out of high school. You know what I mean? I would have had a whole lot of drawings. Now they ain't shadow banning that. You can't shadow ban an illustration. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to wrap this down in a little bit. I just want to know if anybody wants to come on, and it's okay if you don't, because I will talk your ears off. If you had anything you wanted to say or come pop on, here is the link. I'm going to drop it down in, you know, I always give that opportunity. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't, because, you know, we do this every night and it's not a problem, you know. Like I said, what you say, Master Glam? Wait. And Jackie Blue said, how does he wipe his ass with those hands? You can wipe your ass with long nails. I don't know why y'all asked that. Why do you want to know? Well, I'll tell you one thing, Master Glam. I don't want to know what he does. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I've in my visual experiences, I have seen. What were you doing watching somebody wipe up? No. I was at a beach with somebody one time and they had an emergency and they had to, and I had to hold the towel up. And in holding the towel up, I had the curiosity of like them, because I said it to him. I said, well, you need any help? Not that I was going to help him, but where are you going with them long nails? Watch it, baby. I'm going to do it. And there's a Yeah, okay, there it is. There it is. There was a little delay. Saucy Santana getting pounded by Diddy as well. I might draw that. Who knows? I'm going to be doing some really risque things that I cannot put on any social media, only on my site. And it will be an attractant to go on the site to say, what the heck did Lance draw next? And when you get there, you'll see the videos because I'm not going to stop doing the videos every day. You know what I mean? Uh-oh, I disappeared. No sound. You're playing with me. Oh man, don't do that. Because everything looks good from this side. Okay. Y'all are playing. Well, I'm gonna have to come on the phone. I hate when this happens. That's messed up. Yeah, I will be back. Unless y'all got together and said, let's play her. Oh, I'm back. Okay, yeah. I never went anywhere. It's like a glitch. Knowing that now, I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. I've been on here for an hour and 36 minutes. You know, I like to give you 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, 4 hours sometime. This will be one of those nights, but we'll be back tomorrow. We went out early today and got plants and stuff. So I'll be home tomorrow. I might take a short run out, but I'll do like a recording or two early, throw it up, work on it, work on the next show, and we'll be back tomorrow. And we'll be buck wild because tomorrow night is Friday night. And I love this rhythm. Yeah. And they have lots of times, Gabriella. Every time it wasn't that way. Sometimes it's a power outage or actual. But the weirdest one happened the other day where my internet glitched out on the computers, knocked me off where I couldn't get on. But my phone service is not something. I have a local phone service that uses cell towers, but my number that I have that's American, it works through an app. But when you call my number, it goes straight through. No, they for me, hell to pay. You ain't getting me. If you come to get me, look, you're gonna have to do something because it's gonna be a fight. I'm ready out my sleep. You know what I mean? But it happened again? Or you're playing with me? Let me see if I can knock this comment off here. Hide current comment. Nah, y'all think you're playing with me. Yeah, the chat. Definitely you can join the chat, the conference line. Let me just put that number up if you want to do it, because it's not as late over there as it is over here. If you want to call right after the show. You can call right now. I'm going to wrap this down, before they really knock me off for good, and I'm not going to go for that. So it's been really nice. It's been really good. I enjoy myself each and every time, and I want to keep this thing going every night. There'll be sometimes once every 3 weeks, once out of the month, that I may just take a night off, because there's a lot of t-shirts that I want to make to put up, and they're going to be really cost effective. It's not something I'm not going to make a big profit off of anybody. But these creative ideas and stuff like that, good quality stuff shipped right to you. If something's wrong with it, the company will take it back and all that stuff like that. And my artwork, I got to balance everything out. So thank you so much. Leave your comments, share, like, all that good stuff. I shouldn't have to say that, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I really appreciate you all. And like I said, hit the conference line. If you are in a different country and don't want to call or can't call because that's an American number, you can go to LanceScurv.com, LanceScurv.com, the website, scroll down a little bit. You'll see a video, or this video in the middle, and you'll see a chat room that's always there that y'all can go to anytime, and it has private rooms. Right below that, you'll see this number, right? Click on it. It'll bring you directly in to the conference line without you having to call, although it will give you the option if you do want to call that number. If you're out of the country, take the other option. No charges. There are no charges for this number. no big money, and things do cost. But my first and foremost thing is the love for everybody. So I am not no pastor. If you don't have it, look, times are rough for everybody out here in an uncertain world. So that being said, I'm looking at the last few comments. And yes, TZ, Gabriella, Giant Game, Mixed Genre Phase, Master Glam, Oyala, Willie C. Holman Jr. didn't acknowledge you. How are you? And the other people I didn't. And it's time to go. So what the heck? You know what I mean? We're going to be back. We're family. I love you all. I feel connected to you all in very special ways, in very unique ways. And like I said, I'm going to play this version. And I should put I'm not going to play the one with the curses in there. YouTube is always on my backside, but I'm going to play this one here. Somebody had asked me who made the song. It's Zavi Rushan, and the name is Metunetta. And we always acknowledge it, saying it's a war on the real, baby. Look outside. We're going to play that right now. I will see you all tomorrow. Much love. My love for you never ends.
I take pack to the lung, to the stress, to the heat. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, to the heat. I see the things that they do way less than they see. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real, might get you canceled. The whole system needs to dismantle. Coppers treated like the utmost wanted. Trying to rule the block, but don't know what goes on me. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with the screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my burn 95 degrees and I can't get sunburned. Wonder when your government don't make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my please, Brad, I earned that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned that? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the heat. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the gentrified young. Tell them free, middle finger to your honor. In the days coming down, the days coming time. Goofy, still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy it, learn to grow my own food. I don't like the look they give me in the whole food. And when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm living cause my now I'm heavy. But ain't that sweet, think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, bought that. 400 years, I still ain't caught that. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the heat. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the heat. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
Okay, let's see if we can slip the dirty version in so this song makes sense to you. Every now and then I play it, so when you hear the ones with the cutouts, you'll know exactly what he was saying. Here we go.
I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the heat. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir, to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Can't be a real nigga, be a real nigga. Fuck the whole system, need the shit dismantled. Copper treat a nigga like the utmost on it. Tryna rule the block, but don't know what goes on it. News got a story with a new take on me. Carrying out the window with a screw face on me. But I know that God love me when my blunt burn. 95 degrees and I can't get sunburned. Wonder when the government will make me legal. Burn the whole city if I can't be equal. Get off my dick, please, Brad, I earn that. 400 years, how you still ain't learned? I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the lung, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Shout out to the crackers trying to gentrify the genre. Tell them free my niggas, middle my niggas to your honor. End of days coming down to seconds on the timer. Goofy niggas still trying to purchase that designer. About to buy a chopper, learn to grow my own food. Cause I don't like the look they give me in the whole food. When you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. But it ain't on me now, I'm limping cause my dick heavy. But ain't shit sweet, niggas think we thin. My whole attitude on MC Ren. It's my neighborhood now, Bob, I bought that. 400 years, I still ain't caught that. I take pack to the low, kill the stress to the head. I'm tryna do more for the soul, way less for the bread. Yes sir. I take pack to the low, kill the stress to the head. I see the things that they do way less than they say. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out. Cause it's a war on the real, baby, look outside. A war on the real, baby, look out.
almost like when we first met. I don't care, it's getting too late. I want you, and I can't wait. Don't wanna spend a minute without you. I know you feel the same. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch, and make me wanna say. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. I know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get it high every time we get enough, baby. So come give me love. When I'm with you, my legs go weak. Can you ready? I think my heart just get the beat. This feeling just getting so strong. There's something special about you're the one that I want. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch, and make me wanna say. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite. I get it high every time we get enough, baby. So come give me love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me and you know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last was right now? Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me and you know what I want. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. I know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt quite like this. I get a high every time we get enough, baby. So come give me love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me and you know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me just what I want. Won't you love me like the last right now? Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me in the evening. You know what I want. All of your love. Baby, let them hold body on to me, make you grow. I get in my way, never out of my life, like you the one and number one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, wanna go deep, riding on a team. Got what you need, baby, won't you keep me company? Something to do when I get low, something for you when we get you. Let me put it down, when I hit the town, you should lie on me, take my hands on me, try, baby, I think you should side with me. Say we're solid one time, baby, like I mean. Promise you never keep the moves on. I know it's all up, everything good, get the vibes on crush. I know it's all good, know it's all. I've been feeling like a motherfucking man. Can't nobody do it like I can. Say it's fattest in the land. Body turn your nigga to a fan. I made it where I'm at on my own. Had a couple blocks in the road. I get to the bag on the low. I look down the stacks while they go. Yeah, you know me, baby. Won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get low. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down. Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chillin' all day, all in your space. That's where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. And my brain wants you. I've been by myself, asking for help, but the work for you. Yeah. You always make me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone. You're the reason I'm going out. I just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights is doing space, maybe a break, give it we take, the love that we make, favorite drug, too caught up in your love, I've been trying, but you won't let me, and my brain wants you. I've been by myself, asking for help, but to work on you. Yeah. You always make me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone. You're the reason I'm going out. I just can't stop thinking about you. You got me feeling some type of way. You make me wanna stay all day. You're the reason I can't get out. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking about you. I just can't stop thinking